While traveling overland between cities, you often have a choice between several modes of transport. In this guide, I break down the pros and cons of bus vs train travel to help you decide which is the best way for you to get to your next destination. I'll also outline the pros and cons of your third option, flying. You can get up and move around, in my opinion. This is the best reason to choose the train over the bus. Most long-distance trains allow you to get up from your seat without disturbing the passenger next to you. Trains offer more amenities. Long-distance trains often offer dining, a full bar, and completely flat beds. Shorter-distance trains often offer power outlets, Wi-Fi, and reclining seats. These amenities often aren't available on buses. More scenic train tracks are built in the most efficient manner between 2 points. They don't follow a road. You'll travel through scenic, in rural parts of the countryside that you otherwise wouldn't get to see. You can lay down flat and get a good night's sleep on a train. If you book a bed on a sleeper train, you can lay down completely flat and stretch out. You're not stuck in a seated position all night. This allows you to get a solid night of sleep and wake up rested. Trains are more environmentally friendly. Trains use less fuel per passenger than buses, cars, or planes. If you care about the environment, the train is probably the greenest mode of traveling long distance. The only greener option is walking or bicycle touring. More expensive. The biggest drawback of taking the train is the cost. Train tickets are usually significantly more expensive than bus tickets, sometimes up to twice the price. Fewer destinations. Train lines are limited. Most countries only have 1 or 2. A significant number of countries don't have any trains at all. This means that you can usually only access larger cities by train. Trains offer fewer departure and arrival times for most popular routes. There are only 1 or 2 trains operating per day. You have to leave at those times. Buses often operate on a much more regular schedule. The ride can be rough. Some older, poorly maintained train lines are incredibly bumpy and shaky. This makes getting comfortable or falling asleep nearly impossible. Of course, modern trains are incredibly smooth. Trains are loud. The metal-on-metal sound of the train wheels rolling against the track makes a lot of noise. Some people have trouble sleeping because of the noise. Of course, modern trains are designed to be very quiet inside. Cheaper. The bus is almost always the cheapest transport option available. Tickets are often significantly cheaper than rail or air equivalents. More destinations. Buses travel almost everywhere. You can take the bus to even the tiniest of villages, anywhere that there is a road. More departure and arrival times for popular bus routes between cities. There is often a bus leaving every hour, sometimes even more frequently. In this case, if you can't leave the city until the afternoon, for example, you won't have to wait around too long. Smoother ride. Buses offer the same or better ride quality than most cars. Older trains tend to shake and sway on the tracks. Of course, new buses and trains are both incredibly smooth. Quiet road noise is rarely a problem. Buses also don't suffer from the metal-on-metal sound that train wheels have against the tracks. Of course, if a loud passenger sits near you, you're in for a noisy ride. You can't move around while riding the bus. You pretty much have to wait for a bathroom or meal break to get up and move around. There's just nowhere to go while the bus is moving. Fewer amenities. Bus services are pretty basic. There is no food service or bar. The seats don't lay flat. Most buses don't have outlets or Wi-Fi. Of course, there are exceptions. Less scenic. Buses travel on the fastest road available between destinations. That's usually the highway. These usually aren't too scenic. Highways are flat and surrounded by human development. You can't lay down flat. Some bus seats are better than others, but none really lay completely flat. This makes getting a good night of sleep nearly impossible for some people. Less environmentally friendly. Buses burn more fuel per passenger than trains. These days, many people are choosing to travel less for the benefit of the environment. Trains are pretty energy efficient. Faster. A flight allows you to travel to the other side of the planet in less than a day. Trains and buses can't even cross a large country in that amount of time. Can cross bodies of water for overseas travel. Sometimes your only reasonable option is to fly. Taking a ship across an ocean just isn't practical for most trips. Most travelers simply don't have the time or desire to spend weeks at sea. Of course, you can't travel overseas by bus or train. Flying costs less for long journeys these days. Budget airlines often allow you to fly for less than the price of a train ticket. In some cases, flying is even cheaper than taking the bus. The reason is that you must factor in the price of food when traveling long distance over land. Airports are comfortable and full of amenities. Airports offer plenty of seating, restaurants, bars, and shops. The best airport that I have visited was Incheon in South Korea. While on a 12-hour layover, I took a tour of Seoul and enjoyed a shower after getting back to the airport, all for free. Flights are more reliable because airlines cater to a business clientele that must remain on schedule. Of course, there are occasional delays. Expensive flights generally cost more than bus or train. This is particularly true with journeys that would take less than a day traveling by ground. Having said that, budget airlines often offer rates that are competitive with bus or train ticket prices. Flying is a hassle. In order to fly, you must pack your bag in an airline-acceptable manner. Arrive at the airport a couple of hours early. Check in, go through security, wait to board and deboard. Then wait for your luggage at baggage claim. Airports are inconveniently located due to the noise. Airports are usually built far outside of the city that they serve, oftentimes 20 miles or more from the city center. This increases your costs and transit times. When you take the bus or train, you conveniently arrive in the city center. You have to book in advance in order to get a decent price on a ticket. You should make your reservation at least 2 weeks in advance. When traveling during the busy holiday season, you'll want to book several months in advance. You can't move around easily while flying. You're pretty much stuck in your feet. There are no breaks where you can get up and walk around. Of course, you can get up to go to the bathroom, but that's about it. Unfortunately, this means disturbing the passenger next to you if you don't have an aisle seat. Overview. Each mode of transport has its own set of benefits and drawbacks. The choice partially comes down to personal preference. Some travelers hate to fly and avoid it at all costs. Many luxury travelers would never set foot on a bus or train. They value time more than money. I consider myself a bit of a train enthusiast. One of my bucket list trips is to take the Trans-Siberian Railway from Moscow to Vladivostok, possibly with a detour to Mongolia. We are going to end this video right away. If you have any query or information to share, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.